having a route around on the path next to the Tawai River. It's running slow today. This river was quite polluted, but over the last few years has massively improved, especially as industry around it has shut down. And now there are salmon in it, and there are sea trout down the river a little bit further. Some students and lecturers from a university are doing trapping. At night they come and they capture the sea trout, and they're marking them and then recording and following them down the river into the bay. And it's amazing to think that what looks like calm to us, underneath there are fish living out their lives, and some of them travelling far out into the North Sea and then into the oceans before returning back here to this river in autumn to travel up it and find their breeding ground. Amazing thing, creation. After Jesus had died and risen from the dead, the disciples really weren't sure what they should do. And so Peter says, I'm going fishing. They had a fishing boat. And so Peter says, I'm going fishing. And so off they went fishing. They weren't doing very well, and they hadn't caught anything that night. This is recorded in John chapter 21. Early in the morning, Jesus stood on the shore, but the disciples did not realize it was Jesus. He called out to them, "Friends, have you any fish?" "No," they said. "Well, throw your net on the other side of the boat and you'll find some." When they did, they were unable to haul in the large catch. Then the disciple who Jesus loved said to Peter, "It is the Lord." At which point Peter jumped out the boat and swam ashore. If you're a fisherman or you do anything in public, you know about people like this man on the shore. "Oh, you're doing it all wrong. You need to do this. You need to try that bait." But this was Jesus. And so we learn a few things. One, Jesus knew exactly where the disciples were. Jesus knows where we are. He knows where you are. Jesus knew what their need was. Well, immediately their need was that they had no money and no food and no livelihood. But he knew their greater need. Their greater need was to come once again to trust him and to follow him. They had had a very challenging few weeks, and they needed to know that what he called them to do, they were still to do. This is a repetition of something that happened earlier on in their following of Jesus. The same thing had happened. They'd caught no fish, and Jesus told them to throw the net on the other side, and they weren't so sure about it. They argued, but they did it, and they caught many fish. Well, Jesus knows exactly what we need, and he knows how we should act and how we should think and how we should speak and what we should do. And he calls us to follow him, to trust him, to believe in him, and to obey him if we want to have lives that have meaning and joy and life. Follow Jesus, trust him, and keep trusting him in the ups and the downs of life. He'll never let you down. He knows exactly where you are and exactly what you need. From me and my little friend, feeling a bit sorry for himself because we've stopped, because he wants to keep travelling. Go on then, let's go. Have a good day.